So, what are we gonna do with this endoskeleton? Because I used one to make you, but one endoskeleton is still here, and I don't know what to use it for. What do you advise, Rolf, Francesco? Honestly, Honor, I have no idea for the moment, but we could think something out of this. Which robotic clone have we not made before that is in this year teaming? Have you ever made a robotic character that has a red look, perhaps? Well, the fourth closet model that was with red bears had one of the teamings, but it was never too popular, so it's somewhere stored down here. But still, I need to have an idea how to make this endoskeleton work better. Because if we don't find a quicker way to use it, this endo might be here just sticking dust and probably years of not being used. But there needs to be a way to make this character work. Because I don't want to leave any endoskeleton left behind. Specifically a humanoid endoskeleton that took me already hours to do 2 of them. Luckily this one was made by Josh. Even though he's not here anymore, but it's fine to me, honestly. It just hurts still, but I'll try not to mind it too much because I really have an idea, and I want the idea to shine for Josh as well. Something to commemorate him with. Because we were thinking to do a theme park collabing with Mr. Afton, but I think we might need Mr. Afton down here with us to help you make something out of this model. Because I think I have a red dress somewhere with some red gloves and red heels in my closet, but I don't know how to stylize it, so I usually don't wear it at all. But it's there, and it is the measuring of this endoskeleton too, because it's basically my own body out of metal, but a metal skeleton of me, if you get what I'm trying to say. Something scientifical. But it'll probably take me hours, the less, to do something in this teaming. Well, Owner, we need to find a way because you seem like you really want this character to have a functionality. This robotic version. We could work something out here, Owner. To an AI, to a human. I think we could do something out of this. It might take us a long time. But are you sure you want to add us to a theme park, Owner? I mean, my stomach catch can contain jewelries. I could give that as a merchandise gift to anybody that comes visit the, whatever ride you put me in. Anyways, it depends, because knowing my teaming is very on the Victorian royal queen side. When I last scanned and last seen in the mirror, which you did a very good job. It's very hard to do ball gowns. But you seem like you had a talent for sewing, Owner. It's nice that you implanted it with us robotic versions of you, but we could try to do something out. We could work something out here. And something to make this robotic character animate. Or something in those words. It just, Owner, it will take us a long time. If it took a long time to bring me in the system and the functionality, and then the free roaming and everything, working on another free roaming character might take hours and hours, but I think with Mr. Afton's profession in robotics, we could do something about it, if he's really telling the truth. Even when I scanned him the first time you introduced him to me, something feels off about him. He says he's good at making robotic characters, but from what I seen, his line meter was going a bit up, like he was hiding something from us. Listen, I'm sure there's many things that we don't know about Mr. Afton, but Honor, are you sure you could trust William Afton? I'm just saying, because something feels off about him. He's not being fully honest to you, and you're one of his employees. Well, I am the robotic version of you, I may be overreacting, but still, Honor, something feels off. It's like they're hiding something from us that we're not aware of. Like someone named Edwin. A name Edwin Murray has appeared in my memory card ever since you first brought me to life. Honor, have you used any materials on the Fazbear buildings, aka Fredbear's? Well, when you mean using parts from the Fazbear, no, of course I took no parts. Everything I used for your system was down in a scrapyard, but it was still looking a bit newer. Even it took hours to clean and recycle and make it work, but we found a nurse bot that looked at extremely burnt and melted. But I could tell that it was wearing like some sort of a cyanish, pastelish gown or nurse look, something in a nurse outfit, but I haven't seen much. But when me and Josh were going in the scrapyards to find some spare metal parts to use to make these endoskeletons after we recycled and cleansed them perfectly, because we're all about recycling here. But now thinking about it, there used to be an old mascot manor that was on top of the same hill where Afton's new house is getting built. I have asked him about if it was just a coincidence that it looks just like the property of Edwin's. But when I asked him that question, he just said, well, no. He just was sounding very suspicious. So if you have suspicions on William Afton, my own manager and boss, feel free to spill the tea with me. After all, we're the only ones in this house again. And it seems like something has been hiding by both of us. But we want to get answers, and I'm sure we'll find a way. I think you could keep analyzing. Maybe you could start roaming out the house with me. I'm sure it will look very weird to some people, but I wouldn't fucking care. Already been through enough. I don't care if they see a robotic version of me walking next to me. So it'll be a way to show you, but we could try to hide you somehow. There is other outfits that could suit you since you have my same body structure. Suit-wise, because your metal suit that is over you was not, of course, recycled. That one was actually bought with Josh's money. And mine, that's why you have a main suit now that has faceplates. I'm sure you have noticed that. It just was a feature added you for security reasons. But if you have suspicions that Mr. Acton is having something to do with Edwin's, let me know because I'm gonna start looking in every single Fazbear file, knowing I'm not allowed to do that, and I shouldn't do that. It might be risky. But if we want to find answers, we might have to risk it. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it depends. What do you advise, since you're my robotic clone? Honor, I advise you to find the answers you seek. I know it's gonna be risky for you, but I think it's better if you look in the files of Fazbear's, even the ones that connect with Edwin. If you read anything about Edwin's mascot manor, notify me immediately because where's that nurse spot that you recently found? I just need to know. Did you left it in a scrapyard? Or did you bring it to your house? Like salvaged? Well, I did think of searching in the files already on my own, but I didn't want to be too much of a snitch, so I just try not to do that much, but honestly, it makes sense, but the nurse animatronic that I found, by accident it was removed by the other garbage truck a few days ago. So I have no way to find the character again. It was suspicious though, right as they found it, there was a truck that came in and grabbed that like a piece of scrap metal. Me and Josh noticed that last time we went to check in that room. There's also a weird ballerina animatronic that has been left somewhere that kind of looks like me. And it looks like in a white tutu from what I know. But I don't remember ever building a robotic clone in the 70s. I was alive and I was a teenager in the 70s, more a 12-year-old child, a 12-year-old queer child. And I just kept doing the usual things that the children would do. Nobody knew I was a little boy since they never knew in general. They just thought I was a little girl. They just wanted to be a slay because my body was not as developed. Same for the voice. But now you could probably tell that I'm a male wearing dresses and fierce femme looks. But honestly, I don't care. I'm a statement of my own. After all, half the people don't even know about my existence. Anyways, I think because we live far the fuck away from the city. But anyways, a part of that. Let's focus on what I was trying to say. That nurse animatronic that I found the name of the character. I found an old newspaper that looked a bit burnt but survived. It was saying something about Edwin's mascot manor going on fire, and then the rest of the building just disappearing like nothing happened. But they remembered it was on a page of the newspaper, and a radio also station said about this. There used to be a character named Dolly. Dolly the nurse? I wasn't sure. But it was just named Dolly, recycling bot. That's what I read it on that old newspaper. That I am somewhere laying somewhere around in this house. Unless somebody stole it because there was a break in before you were fully finished fixing in my house when I was not here and at work, and they said that somebody broke one of my kitchen windows and I had to rebuild it, of course. More, I just walled off the fucking window and removed it in general so the kitchen doesn't have a window anymore. But apart of that, there was like something weirdly suspicious. I'm at work at Fredbear's and someone broke into my room. And when I came back after the police was notified about it, even though I was lucky that I had some open-minded police officers that were not a front authority like me, that worked there, but they were careful not to get caught. So they refer to me with she, her pronouns, just that way nobody knows. But apart of that, they talked about that it was very suspicious that only the kitchen and one of the newspapers disappeared, which I think it might be the newspaper, about the Edwin's news. And I found like a piece of brown hair underneath the kitchen table. So whoever came in the house had probably brown hair and probably wear some purple. I'm not sure. I didn't want to point the finger that it was Mr. Afton. I'm sure there's many people that like purple, but still was bizarre to see those type of scenes there. It was bizarre. But apart of that, that newspaper, ever since that break-in, I wasn't able to find it. Nowhere, for being exact. It's like someone broke in just to erase Edwin's story. I don't know who Edwin was, or who he used to be, but from what I know, it was something about a mascot manor. I heard something like that in the 70s when I was in school, but it was very bizarre because I was in a private school, so I never did. Well, bullying was always there because bullies and bitches in general always there being annoying. But I didn't care. I fighted my shit back even as a child, but I don't care. But also, it's bizarre that someone broke in my house just to take that newspaper. Luckily, I remember it. There's something about a dolly, and I think it could be connected with that animatronic nurse that was melted and then removed for scraps. Mine was just jacked in a trash compactor. I wasn't able to spare the suit or any pieces, but I don't know the name of that character was definitely Dolly. There is some computers that are starting to be built. I could research that news up and see if there's anything that appears. Unless somebody will steal the computer once I do that, but I think I have to learn how to delete the search history. But about the nurse bot, it's just been scrapped. I wasn't able to salvage the suit in time. But I don't know what else to say about that. What do you think? Is anything suspicious? Because whoever broke in is very suspicious that are just gonna mute me. Same for Henry when I talk about the Edwins thing that I heard on radio. They literally talked about a mascot manor that was set ablaze, and then the rest of the people that had to record that radio news were not able to enter the fucking property. But bizarrely enough, it says that Mr. Afton was connected to this Edwin guy, but he just staying quiet about it. Like something suspicious happened. I'm not sure what, but something happened with Edwin's mascot manor. And apparently there's some rogue endoskeleton that mimics people and anything. They're just running around the city, from what I understood. And all the other Fazbear locations, that's why they have security guards at nighttime. I asked about this to Henry and he's just stayed quiet. Like it was nothing, like I was going crazy or something. But I'm not sure. But what do you think with all these connections? With your efficient AI, I'm sure you should know what it's supposed to mean. Something like this. You were meant even to be an investigator bot, to notify the police if something bad happened and to spot the person that did what they did. But what's your theory more about all of this? Royal Fontaine me. Well, and from what I'm understanding, someone is trying to hide the fact that something happened at Edwin's mascot manor. Which is very suspicious, if you ask me, Honor. You should read in more into that. I know that some humans are not very woken up in mind, but a human your kind that can accept an AI being kind to another and try not to break the world. After all, you're using me for good, not terrible. And you did make me aware purposely to see and notify how the police. I even have a radio frequency within my chest cavity that makes me notify the police officers immediately if something bad happens at any place. But since I was not fully fixed, and I wasn't fully active, it could make sense by whatever happened, I wasn't able to stop it. But anyway, Sinner, there's nothing to worry because after all, I'm sure we'll find the answers out, but I think whoever was breaking in your house is trying to hide away this entire situation we're hearing on radio. I also have some connection to the radio and kind of the entire power bills, but anyways, a part of that, it's very suspicious, I'm gonna agree with you, Hunter, that someone just breaks in right as you find that, and then an immediate truck just hides a robotic character that came from that place, but we don't know for what it was used. Have you checked any other details, perhaps? Just to know, Hunter, because there must be more details about this robotic character that was scrapped, that I'm sure you've seen before they scrapped the model. It's very weird, though, and suspicious. So I agree with this one over you. Something is very happening behind our shoulders that no other Fazbear employees knows, but you are something aware of that. Interesting. Well, basically, it's weird because I've been working in Fredbear's. Any of the Fazbear locations that are slowly getting built. Have you heard the news that Freddy Fazbear's is starting to open soon? I was talking about this with Susie, one of the little girls that comes often to the location, and she really loves the Chica animatronic, even though I'd never seen that model for now, because I work in the Fredbear's facility, not in the Fazbear's. But Miss Shelton said if I just get tired of working in Fredbear's, I could change job into the Fazbear building because they're starting to get some employees to work there, and they even want a queer person like me to work in our location. It's very unsure what's gonna go down, but Miss Shelton said if I get tired of working in Fredbear's, I could go work in Fazbear's instead. As one of the morning employees or night shifts, depends honestly. But yeah, another detail I noticed, it looked at like their feet, the toe feature that they had, that was originally like something on railings, was snapped off, like ripped apart, and I don't know what could rip such things with that strength. Because the nurse character was out of metal, and it had like an entire generating system within the suit. Last time I saw this model, I have noticed that the character in general was very weirdly almost like a generator animatronic that functioned on a railing system that powered electricity, from what I understood. But on that newspaper it said something that this nurse spot was supposed to be a recycling animatronic that moved on those railings and recycled spare parts of any suits or mascots. Specifically, there was an elephant's head, like a mascot elephant head in the newspaper before it went missing. But something in those words, something feels off. And we're right now we're about to reach the new centuries, the 90s, we're about to reach sooner. I hope things will change for the better. But anyways, we're about to reach that type of level, but still, there's so many questions that are not getting answered. And Mr. Afton, when he originally called me to work at our location, it said If you have any questions, we'll answer you the best that we can. But you've not been answering me at all. Half of the time I'm talking about this, Mr. Ato is just changing the subject and talking about something else. Like it's something risky to think. I'm not really sure, but something in those words is feeling very off about these news. This Edwin guy, whoever he was, I know he was popular in the 70s. I think I remember from the 70s. Everybody in my old schools were talking about him. Edwin Mascot Manor. They were talking about how cool the suits were and the animatronic characters and all the inventions that Edwin and Jennifer made. Apart that he was, apart that he lost his wife, but not my problem. I'm not a hetero. You could clearly tell I'm a flaming homosexual. But anyways, apart of that, something feels very off because there's so many more questions that are not getting answered. Like, like Mr. Afton is hiding something from me. Same for Henry. Very suspicious of the both, but I'm not gonna notify him to the face. I'm just gonna play along and see if any answers will come out. Because I've been working in Fredbear's for almost half a century. And now it's just questions on top of questions, which is very bizarre. But I'm just gonna not try to think of it too deep, and we're just gonna focus on the main situation we're talking about right now. But you tell me if you have any other answer in mind, Royal Fantame. After all, I'll be here to listen, because I want to know your theory and your opinion on what the fuck is going on. Because something is suspicious about all of this. Why would Mr. Afton even hide such answers, even though I'm the main person that knows him? I knew him since I babysitted his children's. And still, it's very suspicious. I start working at Fazbear's, more the entertainment industry in general, mostly Fredbear's. And there's so many mysteries that are not getting told to me. Something is being hidden, and it's kind of pissing me off. But anyways, interesting. Leonard, have you asked your boss to give you some answers, or still a mystery like usual? Because if they're hiding something from you, a Fazbear employee, I don't think it's quite of a good idea, Honor, to keep working in that industry. You could focus on building more versions of us and letting us. Wait, I have an idea, Honor. How about don't we ask Mr. Afton last time he comes visit you if I could be added to the Fazbear location for the Fazbears? Let's see if he'll let us add myself there, and I'll see if I could get any informations. Because when I'm disactivated, you activated a second feature that I'm able to still hear even while being turned off. Which, it's a very smart idea. Thank you for that feature, owner, first of all. And also, it's interesting. There's something like this is going on. And then they call us AIs the ones that are suspicious. But in reality, humans are more suspicious than anything. Specifically humans that are working with you, owner. As a queer robotic character, and a royalty for free character, too, or animatronic, depending how you want to refer, whatever is going on, I'm sure the answer will emerge eventually. But until then, owner, I think we just have to keep hearing and finding information ourselves. Even if some things might be illegal for your workplace, we need to find these answers about Edwins. I'll try to research on those computers that have been made and try to find answers for you on Earth, but it might be impossible.